Good day, guys. So it's Sheldon here from the Founders Chair, and today we have a special guest that absolutely needs no introduction. Somebody that has been in the financial industry for quite a long time and has built a significant business, which I look up to, and that is people and purpose driven. For me, I'm inspired to hear about the story, and I can't wait for you to hear it too. So without further ado, Mr. Anthony Govender, thank you very much for coming to sit on the chair.
Thank you, Sheldon. It's an honor to be here, and it's
Thank
great
you.
to be connecting with your viewers and listeners.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm going to put us on, and we're just going to have a discussion.
Sounds good, Sheldon. I was going to negotiate though and say for a guy with little hair like me on my head, should be getting a 50% discount.
Yeah, we should be doing something. Oh yeah. No, but thank you so much for agreeing to be part of this, and just walking through your office, I could see the type of culture that you've built within your organization, where it's people focused. And as you grow, you tend to forget the people behind the business, and not necessarily you, because while you were taking me through the corridors, you were calling people by their names. And I think that for me is just very inspiring, just to say that with over 700 employees, you still remember their names.
Well, I can tell you, I don't remember all 700. I try my best. Sometimes people feel like I'm wearing an earpiece around the office. I think at about 150, you tend to struggle to remember everyone. It's always great to have employees stay a journey with you over a long period of time. And as a founder, you get to connect with those people in different forums. I mean, the ASI business often gets credit for its size and its success. But the reality is we're a people-focused business, and ultimately we serve communities, and it couldn't have been possible without the 700 or so people, families that have helped build the company. So I'm incredibly grateful for my family.
No, that's amazing. That's really amazing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just shave off a bit. I see that it is close, but I'm going to just shave off a bit, and I think this is one of the most unscripted interviews that you've been part of. Purely because we want to understand the just behind what it took being able to come from the streets of Pietermaritzburg in KZN and growing up in a shack. What has that lessons been that your mother has showed you from the very grassroots that has shaped you to be the man you are today?
Wow, that's a pretty deep question, Sheldon. So, I mean, growing up in a shanty town, you start to get a real appreciation for life, and more so that poverty doesn't discriminate. Irrespective of your skin pigmentation or your economic background, poverty doesn't discriminate. And my great appreciation for it is having these tough upbringings, is that I've tasted poverty, and I never wanted to go back there. I was asked this question yesterday in an interview, which was, how did poverty shape my life? And it firstly taught me to get by with very little. And it's a discipline that I stick to today, despite the fact that I have a little more resources than I did back then. I'm incredibly intentional about the fact that I live fairly simply in life, and try and live on a little rather than being too extravagant in what I have in life, and preserving for the future. It was a value system that my mom had left my brothers and my sister and I with, and we still hold on dearly to that. As a second principle is just, she was a faith-based Christian. And putting God first. And, these, what I refer to the 3 H's in the family, which is honesty, humility, and hard work. And it was something that my mom was very intentional about. She worked particularly hard. She was a domestic worker, then she became a textile worker, and labored most weeks, in fact 7 days a week, and put in the overtime just to make sure that my siblings and I had enough to get by. And
you saw that firsthand.
And I saw that firsthand. And you can't, you can't fathom that children. The best example for children is not what you tell them.
Yeah.
It's what you show them in
That's
your
true.
actions.
That's
so
true.
Kids don't do what you tell them to do. They do what you do.
That's
and so
true.
if you really want to be a model example to your kids and you want them to work hard, whether it's at school or at work someday, work hard yourself.
Yes.
And I had that example in my mom. She was an incredibly humble person and still is at 73.
Wow.
Her name is Rachel, one of the most remarkable women that I've known in my life, and a leader in the true sense of the word, because she led her children out of poverty. And she still insists, as the matriarch of the family, that this faith-based system that we have as a Christian family, that faith-based system is upheld.
Yeah.
And so that's some of the values, Sheldon. And poverty will teach you what to do and what not to do.
And what not to do. But talk about the Proverbs 31 woman, because that's exactly what you
couldn't have described. Couldn't have described it better. Couldn't have described it better. And she really epitomizes, the Proverbs 31. Values that describe a virtuous woman, and that's really what my mom was and is today. And a great example, not just to her children, but her grandchildren, and she's got great grandchildren. So I'm pretty proud of what the family heritage is leaving behind.
Wow. I think that's so. Looking at those humble beginnings, I mean, one of the things that we can always say, you know what, there's an element of luck and there's an element of hard work. What has been that gap in between? Because obviously, looking from where you come from, the chances of you making it was not.
Yeah, let's say you wouldn't. If this was Betway, you'd not be taking
you would not be taking
a
bet. You would be.
Yeah, I mean, most of us coming from township communities, Sheldon, I mean, you'd appreciate this, being an elders boy, and you're not given many chances in life.
Yes.
You're given very little opportunity. And I think for our youngsters out there who are, struggling to find opportunity, the one valuable lesson that I got out of life is take the very little opportunity you're given, and that would lead to bigger opportunity. Often what happens is that we forego the small opportunity and we're looking for the big one. There's no point in you doing that.
That's so powerful.
And so for the youngsters listening in and the aspiring entrepreneurs, take every chance that you get, because you may only be given one, and you won't know where that one will lead you to. If I look at your own journey and the Legends Barber story, starting off from the streets and to where you are now, you took the opportunity that you got. And building ASI was no different.
And it's just that one opportunity that you get.
Exactly that. Yeah.
I mean, like, if you think about it, it's you could have been anything. You could have been anything else besides in the financial service. But the fact that you got that one opportunity to take that and run with it. And I think for many of the times we're always looking for the bigger thing that's going to come along our journey. And it's like, you know what, I'm waiting for that big break. But not understanding that there's been a couple of small boats that's actually taking you to the big boat.
Spot on. See, I really believe that every human's journey is weaved by small deposits. Yes. If I look at my own life, the first significant deposit, yet a very small one, was by my mom, followed by one of my first mentors. And I was given a book, and it was a book by Napoleon Hill. And
Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah. And the fact that I was really obsessed about making more money, because I didn't want to live in squalor and poverty.
Yes.
I took it upon myself to learn and study more about the science of money and wealth creation. And in my quest to learn more, I created more opportunities. And sometimes it's less so the opportunity presenting itself, Sheldon.
Yeah.
It's your ability to see it.
It's your ability to see it. That's so true.
And you know that as an entrepreneur, you know, you started off in a barbershop, but now you're selling product through these barbershops, right? And it's about spotting the opportunity. And the more you learn, the more opportunities you see. So, you know, for the youngsters listening in, for the aspiring entrepreneurs listening in, it's really about what can you do. You know, you can master anything you put your mind to. Yeah. But there's something that everyone is good at. Yeah. I used this example yesterday in my interview with Quena, and I said, you know, I've got this friend Patrick. He's, you know, if you ever asked him what does he do, he says, I cut grass. Yeah. He's a landscaper. Yes. He dropped out of school. He's a very successful landscaper. He runs a multi-million-dollar business today. Wow. I have another friend who was a security guard, and he runs a company today called NGD Security. Yes. He's a multi-million-dollar business owner. Yes. He barely did standard 8 to standard 9 at school, never went to university. Yes. Yes. He's a South African entrepreneur. Yes. He's a Soweto township boy. Yes. Yes. So success is all around us. And if we just study the clues that success leaves, you know, you will make a massive success of yourself. And the one thing I find that youngsters, you know, they're waiting for the perfect opportunity. That's true. If you've got a gig to cut your neighbor's lawn, take it. Yeah. Because that gig could lead you to running one of the largest landscaping businesses in the country. Yeah. Patrick today cuts most of the big estates. You know, he's got some big sectional title scheme and complexes that he manages, and he makes a very comfortable living from it. Yeah. Tabang started his first gig with managing one site as a security company and then got multiple others. Wow. Today, he employs over 250 people. Wow. He's a highly successful business. In fact, he's running a small corporate company. Yeah, yeah. This is a township kid. So these success stories are everywhere. Everywhere, yes. But what our youngsters must be able to do is take the first opportunity that they're given to them. And the one thing I hear more and more from our youngsters is we want fair and equal opportunity. The reality is the opportunity is there. You're just not looking hard enough for it. Mm. Nobody came around and gave you and I the opportunity. Mm. Mm. You know, we watched other people. We learned from them. Yes. We took the first opportunity that was given to us. My first opportunity in financial services came from working in a call center. Okay. And I would spend
so you also come from a call center as well.
Exactly.
Same,
I spent more money on my travel cost than I was actually earning from that particular company. I'm quite pleased to say they're one of our big insurance partners today. Oh, but, yes. You know, they gave me my first lucky break. Wow. But I took the opportunity. And I think for every youngster out there, it's about them taking every opportunity they have with both their hands. Wow.
I think like that's one of the most underrated things that you hear today, is being able to hear the unfiltered truth about what it is for, if you really want to be serious about making it in life, that you have to be able to look out what's out there and focus on making it work, because nobody's going to give you it. Nobody's going to come past you and just say, you know what, here's something, I got a lucky break. You understand? I mean, like, you have to be able to be that person that says, you know what, it doesn't matter what might come my way, I'm able to make this thing work.
Well, Sheldon, if there's a message we need to give, what I would refer to as the future legends.
Yes.
Right? What would I say to the future legends? South Africa is riddled with people that have an entitlement mindset.
Yep.
It's about, what can government do for me?
Yep.
You know, the government is not fair. There's not enough opportunity in business.
Yep.
There's not enough funding in business. The reality for you and I, we built our businesses without funding.
Yes.
We bootstrapped them.
Yes.
We believed in them.
Yes.
And so it's really about our youngsters actually building resilience.
Yeah.
I said this to a mentee of mine. I said to him, if you pray hard enough, God is likely to send you a wheelbarrow and a shovel.
Yeah.
If you really need to put in the work, you best prepare yourself. So be careful what you pray for.
Yes.
If you have a faith-based system, believe in yourself. The best investment you can make is in yourself.
In yourself.
So if there is an opportunity and you have a skill, no matter how limited that skill might be, back yourself to get the work done. I think the major problem in South Africa is that we've got too many lazy youngsters. There's a need for instant gratification. I want the big stuff now. I want the nice car, the nice house. I want the flashy lifestyle now. And they're not prepared to wait for it. And unfortunately, the one thing that money teaches you is the science of money and the growth of money is only achieved in the long term. If you want to create real wealth, you only create it over the long term.
And it's that compound effect that takes place.
Absolutely.
Because many of the times look at it now when you want the instant gratification, but if you're unable to put in the work, which is 10 to 1 be seen invisible in the way, you understand. So it's like I don't actually notice things happening right now, but in the long term, it definitely pans out. And it's true what you say, you have to bet on yourself, because if you're not betting on yourself to make it work, who are you going to bet on?
Speaking of compounding, Sheldon, I was driving to a coffee shop and a youngster ran up to me.
Yes.
I'm quite pleased to say that he's still one of my mentees today, many years later. He's one of the marketing executives of an FMCG company in KZN.
Wow.
His name is Kama Mamabolo.
Yes.
Random kid that just ran up to me from a coffee shop and said, "Sir, I love your car. Can you teach me how you got it?" Fast forward many years later, Kama's made a huge success of his corporate career. He's married and he's doing really, really, really well and drives a nice car. But one of the things that I've had to teach him is that the science of building real value in your life and you spoke about the compounding level of investment.
Yes.
The question is, how do you become a millionaire? If you're 20 years of age, how do you become a millionaire? Well, put in 1,500 Rand away every single month.
Yes.
Which most youngsters spend more by going to a news cafe or Taboo in Sandton or one of the other nightclubs. Just spend that amount or save that amount every month and do that for 30 years. And when you're 50, you'll be surprised that you'll be a multi-millionaire.
Yes.
And so significant wealth comes from small deposits.
Yeah.
And so put in those small deposits away.
Yeah.
The sum total of your life will also come from the small deposits in your life.
Yeah.
Like my mentor, my mom, the many teachers and coaches that I've had in my life. I work very closely with a coach now. His name is Carl. He's one of my business coaches. And every time I chat to him, he leaves me with a small deposit in my life that makes me a better leader and a better businessman. And so I would encourage youngsters to study the success of other people around them, learn from those cues, and the compounding effect of those small deposits is what's going to make them successful in the long run.
So let's be devil's advocate for one moment. I mean, taking it back to today's youngster, I think one of the things that you can look at, there's a disadvantage that's currently taking place. I mean, let's say, for example, we go to the same school and we matriculate at the same community, and both of us get an opportunity to go and work in corporate. One guy is successful and the other is not. And the one guy makes it big in terms of becoming an entrepreneur. What would you say is a disadvantage and the advantage of the person that makes it?
It's a brilliant question, Matt, because it really sums up the success of all great entrepreneurs that I've met.
Yes.
Your success and the sum total of your life and the value that you create in life is your habits.
Yeah.
It's the disciplines. And where does habits come from? And your thoughts and feelings manifest in your actions.
That's true.
And so if you maintain a positive mindset, you maintain positive behaviors, and you maintain positive habits, ultimately, that's what creates your success. What I've seen in, certainly in the business world, the most successful employees within the ASI Group, the most successful entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs that have partnered with us are those people that have great habits.
Yes.
They're part of the 5 a.m. club.
Yes.
They get up early in the morning.
Yes.
They pay their 3 rents.
Yeah.
I teach this to my 12-year-old son. And I talked to him about the 3 rents that you got to pay in life.
Yeah.
You pay rent for your body by
Yes.
going to the gym and eating healthy.
Yes.
You pay rent for your brain by studying and reading.
Yep.
And learning more about life and more about yourself. Because the greatest knowledge you'll gain in your life is the knowledge of yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. And you pay the 3rd rent, which is for your spirit, by praying and practicing gratitude every day and thanking God for the many things that you have in your life.
Yep.
You know, far too often you kind of look how amazing Elon Musk has done. And I need to have a bigger business, but you seldomly stop to thank God for the amazing blessings that He's given you in your own life.
You today.
And so it's really a function of habits.
Yes.
It's a function of your psychology.
Yep.
And your faith. You know, whether you, I encourage youngsters who don't go to church, go to church.
Yep.
You'll be amazed by what it does for your soul.
That's true.
And you and I have walked the faith journey, Sheldon.
Yeah.
And you know what it does for us as humans and as faith-based Christians. So I would encourage youngsters to do that.
Yeah.
So it's your habits, it's your psychology, but most importantly, it's the discipline that you bring into your life.
Yeah.
And so I have a very practical approach to managing my life. I do 3 things every day.
Yes.
That ultimately focuses on the biggest problems I'm required to solve in the company.
Yeah.
I always do one thing that makes me happy.
Okay. Every day.
Every day.
Okay.
Happiness is a choice. In fact, me being here today,
yes,
I get a free haircut. It makes me happy. And I get to spend time with a fellow entrepreneur who I admire and love, and that makes me happy.
Wow.
So today, it's a conscious choice.
Wow.
So do one thing every day that makes you happy.
Yes.
And this, just focusing on the 3 big things in your life that ultimately gets you to move the dial forward is what's going to make you a success. Far too often, and I think for the young entrepreneurs and business owners out there, I often talk to signal leadership. It is the ability of the entrepreneur to cancel out the noise, a little bit like the noise that I'm hearing now with the machine. You cancel out the noise.
You cancel out the noise, yes.
You cancel out the noise and you focus on the signal issues.
Yes.
What are the things that is going to push your business forward?
That's true.
I often speak to young entrepreneurs and they go, Ant, I have a cash flow problem. I go, well, welcome to the business world.
Yeah.
They go, Ant, I've got a problem with skills in my business.
Yes.
I need more barbers and barber chairs.
Yes.
And I go, well, welcome to the business world.
Yes.
I go, well, I don't have enough, cash flow.
Yeah.
And cash flow and capital and time and skills are typically the major issues that affect every business, no matter how big or small you are. Now, I look at these things and I go, well, the big question is, what are you doing about it?
That's true.
The best friend for you to have in business is the guy that simply asks you, what are you doing about your biggest problem? And far too often, I find that entrepreneurs wallow in their own sorrow.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And why do they do that? Now, my word for the day, Kimmy, was poop. Right?
Okay.
Alec, my 12-year-old son challenges me with the weirdest words to incorporate into my interviews.
Yes.
And the word this week, was poop. And
poop, yes.
I've created an acronym of poop, which represents the poor opinions of other people.
Wow.
Now, I don't know whether they're talking this in private school, but often what happens with humans is that we concern ourselves with the poor opinions of other people. And we take on that garbage into our life, and that makes us less productive, less capacitated. So you want to know whether you're in the right space with the right people. Surround yourself with entrepreneurs and business minds that speak to the optimism and all the beauties that business can bring you. You and I started business not because we wanted to be broke.
No.
The Bible speaks of wealth over 3,000 times in the Bible. God didn't want any of his children to be broke. So we certainly don't want you to be broke.
Yeah. I love that. Because many of the times you think spirituality leads to poverty.
Oof.
And I mean, like, especially coming from backgrounds like we did, where you are praised to actually be a poor Christian. And I feel like that's a mentality that has been in our community for a very long time. What's your perception on it?
Sheldon, let me say that to any of our community, my mom would say to me, don't call them poor, call them humble. Well, let me say there's a fundamental difference between humility and you being broke. There's a fundamental difference between humility and poverty. Humility is not the things that you wear. It's not the car that you drive. It's not where you live. It's not the friends that you hang out with. It's not how you speak. It's not your personality disposition. Humility is recognizing all the things that you're good at, but very importantly, and more importantly, is recognizing the things that you're weak at. The chances are you're a much better barber than I am. I'm not that great at it. Equally so, I would like to believe that I'm a better financial advisor than Sheldon is. So recognizing that you have strengths and I have strengths, and together we can use these strengths to make our lives better. That's the humble disposition that every human needs to have, is recognizing that your thoughts and beliefs don't make you right. The fact that you don't know everything is, you must have some intellectual humility. That's really where humility and spiritual humility, knowing that you don't control and influence everything that happens in the world. There's a greater force out there. Poverty is simply the lack of resource, the inability of you to ensure that there's sustenance for you and your family. Now, we must separate what poverty means versus what humility means. Because you could have a very wealthy human who's incredibly humble and incredibly gracious about the wealth that he has. Equally so, you could have a very poor person who's incredibly arrogant and refuses to learn. And it's sad because we have many poor people that are arrogant. That lack humility, and therefore they remain broke.
That's so powerful. That's like
so poor people, the poor people that are broke, you got to question how humble you are.
How humble are you?
How humble are you in learning?
In learning, yes.
How humble are you going? If you could go to your neighbor and go, wow, I see that you got a great job at this company. Is there any way that you can help me out? Or I see that you're working at Legends Barber. Can you teach me the craft so I can become a good barber like you? I look up to you. Now that requires humility.
That requires humility.
It's what you did as a youngster. It's what I did as a youngster.
It definitely requires humility. And the only way for you to grow is sort of you to humble yourself. There's a quote that I read from Bruce Lee. And Bruce Lee says this. He says, the usefulness of its cup is its emptiness. That means that if your cup is not empty, you won't be able to utilize it. And I think many times we go into spaces thinking that we know it all. We come into spaces and we want to be the last say. But have you ever gone into a space where you go in with an empty cup? Say, I'm willing to learn so somebody else can pour into me. And like you said, the one thing that you shared is that your coach always mentors you on this side. You like at this particular age, you still have a coach that's like constantly still steering you in the right direction. What has that journey been like?
Sheldon, I think, life's about your attitude, beliefs, and choices. We spoke about this earlier, the ABCs of your life.
Yes.
And it's what I would teach children in my family. You can teach people to have a good attitude and belief. You can inform their belief system by taking them to church, but ultimately the choices you make shape your life.
That's true.
So a choice that I've made for my life very consciously is to say I'm going to be a lifelong scholar.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn from everyone and anyone. Incidentally, I went for Father's Day to a Father's Day event at my son's school last week.
Yes.
And I learned in my one-on-one time about Hox genes. Now, this I was never taught. Yeah, I was never taught this at school. So I had this great biology lesson, and I'm really pleased that he's decided to graduate his career aspirations from being a YouTuber to now wanting to be a bioengineer. So I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for that.
Please tell me, what did you implement to get it right? Because my son is still on to become a YouTuber.
I got him to watch more YouTube, just the more educational stuff. The conscious choice of wanting to be a lifelong scholar,
yes,
and wanting to grow and develop myself and learning from everyone around you, no matter how young for how old they are.
Yeah.
And I tell young people often, they speak to their grandparents and their parents like they're dumb.
Yeah.
And maybe this is a little bit of payback for me for my late grandmother. I didn't think that she was that smart.
Yeah.
And now it's a bit of payback with my son because, he makes me feel pretty stupid.
Yes.
Working with technology and other things. And I realized that no matter how young or old, our family or friends or community is, we can learn something from them.
Definitely.
Everyone is holding some secret to them, the secret to life, the secret to purpose, the secret to a greater sense of meaning. And it's our ability to tap into that ultimately matters.
That matters.
So to our viewers and our future legends,
yes,
it's about them connecting to a lifelong search of knowledge.
Wow.
And skill and life experience that makes them better human beings. And the only goal should be, you want to be a better human tomorrow than you are today.
Wow. Oh, wow, you can actually clap for that. there's one thing that I feel like many of the times we tend to forget. And I mean, like, you go across your journey and you find yourself in a situation where you're able to sort for your family, you're able to sort for your immediate needs. But then you get to a part of your journey where you're like, I honestly, genuinely want to make a difference. And this is something I've seen you do throughout your company, where you want to give back, and not only give back of money, but also give back of your time. What has been the mindset shift in order to get you in this position?
We spoke about spiritual humility.
Yes.
And part of you feeding your soul is by serving others. I find the biggest act of love is giving off your time, either in service, either in support to friends, community, and family, but simply giving into the people that you're surrounded by. And so, I was asked a question yesterday on Power FM in my interview there around, and I think it was more a statement. It was a guy that had called in from Joburg, and he said, in order for you to have wealth, you've got to be selfish.
That's right.
And I publicly rebutted that and said, I don't believe that to be true. In fact, the wealthiest people in the world are those people that give very generously.
Yes.
Biblically, the Bible teaches us to do some very specific giving. Your tithes, your offering, etc. But beyond that, one of my goals as an entrepreneur and founder was, to give very generously of what I had earned. And I can, say, I shared the story, in fact, with Lucy on his podcast. I was 31 and I'd become a dollar millionaire, and I was so excited to share this with my mom. And I was sitting on the dining room table, and I said to Mom, you can't believe, this is an exciting milestone for me.
Yes.
And she just seemed pretty disinterested. And she turned around to me and she said, well, how about if you can give that much away?
Wow.
And you would only be a millionaire in my eyes if you could give that much away. And so I made it my mission at that point to give very significantly.
Yes.
And we get so consumed by the net worth, my net asset value.
Yes.
What does it really mean?
What does it mean?
It's just digits on a spreadsheet or digits on a piece of paper. It means very little. But impacting the number of people is ultimately what I've been focused on.
Wow.
From my grandmother's home, which is that zinc shack that I pointed to the photo earlier, and to giving into those communities, to the communities that helped raise me. It's more about impacting a number of people more than the actual community you come from. We started off getting, let's impact 1,000 people. That's grown to 10,000 people. Now it's 100,000 people. And ultimately, what we would want to achieve is impacting the entire country and beyond the borders of our country. And so I really think, for the youngsters listening in, giving is a great act of love. And it's incredibly good for your soul. You'll be amazed by what it does to capacitate you. You'll be amazed by what it does just to refuel your energy as an entrepreneur. And the more you give, you're actually telling the universe that you are deserving of more.
Yeah.
And so, incidentally, this year, I'm sharing part of my personal journey. This year, I became the lowest paid CEO in South Africa. I know that a lot of CEOs are talking about being the highest paid. I became the lowest paid CEO. On the 1st of March, I decided that I was not going to earn a salary, and instead, whatever earnings that I had, I was going to give that into charity and community and good causes. And at this point, my brothers and I give a few million rand away every year. But I can safely say, beyond the biblical principle of tithing 10%, I give a multiple X on that. I wouldn't want to communicate from a point of humility and just not wanting to sound too arrogant to people. But it's incredible what it does for my soul.
Yes.
And I teach this to my own family. I teach this to my friends. I teach this to our employees. Part of being at ASI, by the way, every employee has to do an ASI day of giving back.
Wow.
It's mandatory. You can take any day of your work week and go give into your community. And if it's a worthy cause and an initiative that we align to as an organization, we will match that initiative. The environment that we are working close to, was it the St. Lawrence's home that they actually had partnered with more recently? And I decided to partner with them on that initiative. But every employee gives back. So I'm often asked the question, how is it that in the hardest times in South Africa, during the recession, during COVID, you're able to double the size of the business? That's because we are simply telling the world we are deserving of more because we are so generous at what we have.
That's so
the very little that we have.
The very little that you have.
We're incredibly generous with it.
And it doesn't matter where you are, with the very little that you can give of it, because more will definitely come. I think about myself as well. I think about the time when I started the business, and we used to go out into the communities. We used to go cut the school kids and visit old age homes. And back then, we used to do it on our quiet days, which was Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And we just done it as a way to upskill the youngsters, but also to give back. And what came about it was so significant was that we never had a name for the barbershop. So we then decided to name the barbershop after our old people, which are actually the legends of our community.
That's phenomenal.
And that's where the name Legends Barbershop come from. And from that, that's been embedded in our culture. Because now you find that giving is part of who you are. You understand? And you're actually telling the universe, like you said, you're telling the universe that you're deserving of more.
That's powerful. Yeah, it's incredibly powerful. I mean, and I love the story around Legends and just how you got to the naming convention of the business, because it's not Sheldon's Barbershop.
Yeah.
It's named after people that really carry our cultural heritage, South Africa.
Yes.
So I think it's a very powerful statement as a brand. And I think to the many youngsters that aspire to be the next barber legend, it's about following in the footsteps that that you've left behind, and following the very many success clues you've left behind.
Yeah.
Because there is a recipe to success.
Yeah.
You only need to research it and discover it for yourself.
That's true. That's so true.
The good news is that there's more than one recipe. So pick the one that works for you. Pick the one that works for you.
One of the things that, before we close off the show, there's one particular thing that you told me. And as I walked into your office and you told me about, you are quite particular when it comes to spending money. And you showed me your office, and you explained to me the secondhand furniture that's actually in your office. I think from a young person's mentality point of view, when he looks at this and he thinks to himself, Anthony must be one of the guys that's like, why would he want to do this when he does have the ability to afford a 10,000 Rand office chair? What is the mentality around it, and what can youngsters grab from that?
Yeah, that's Sheldon. I think it's a critical business lesson to everyone listening in. This is probably going to save you a few million or make you a few million in business. So Sheldon's referring to when I first moved into my offices in Bryanston, Sandton. We moved into the building. We acquired the building. Very grateful for that. And one of the principles that I teach as a financial advisor and coach is to buy things that you can afford. And we moved into this building. It was a great deal. We acquired it in COVID, and we bought it at probably 50% its market value. So it was a great deal for the business. And rather than buying very flashy things, the question for us was, where do we channel our cash flow and our capital? And rather than putting it into very expensive furniture, we decided to buy the anchor tenant that was in this building. Was an advertising and media company with, of course, some very, very high net worth clientele. And they had very plush offices. And we said, well, if you're not going to be, they were downsizing, by the way, because of COVID. And we said, if you're not going to be using some of the furniture, we'd like to buy it from you. And so we ended up buying a lot of the furniture at less than 1/20th of the cost of what they would have incurred buying that furniture. And the reality is, in doing so, we were able to preserve a lot of capital and cash flow in the business. I often tell the story of our main boardroom table in our main boardroom. I bought that about 9 years ago when we were in our Randburg offices. My office manager at the time would approach Justin and I and said, I want to get a new boardroom table. And it was 135,000 Rand. And Justin looked at me and said, there's no way we're going to buy this table at 135. Now, if you ever saw an Afrikaans boy from Witbank go red in the face, that was in that day. I said, okay, no worries. I'm going to chat to my friends at Straight and Bark Has-Beens. And I reached out to them and I bought the boardroom table upstairs and downstairs. In fact, it cost us 5,000 Rand for the upstairs one, 3,000 Rand for the one downstairs. They threw in a free dining server. And we bought that boardroom table is still there. Now, if anyone walked into that boardroom, it looks like it cost us 200,000 Rand. The reality is, for the youngsters listening in, is spend money on the things that matter. If you are running a business and you are selling widgets and light bulbs, spend more money on the widgets and light bulbs. Spend less money on the car that makes an impression on your customer. Because far too often our young entrepreneurs want to have the latest BMW. They want to live in the fancy Santon apartment. They want to wear designer label clothing. That's not the reasons why customers buy you. In fact, when our business started to do really well, I was still in a Toyota Corolla at that time. I drive a Ford Bucky today. I didn't come into the office in a Lamborghini. And every time I go to the Ferrari dealership, I do have a vice for sports cars. I'm not going to tell you how many sports cars I own, but every time I go to a Ferrari dealership and I look at this Ferrari that costs me 7 million Rand, I look at this, if this money was invested for the next 5 to 7 years, and if the car had to depreciate by 50% in that time, it's not a 7 million Rand decision, it's a 12 million Rand decision for me.
That's true.
And so I look at the value of money and I look at the value of depreciating items. Of course, when you have an abundance of it, when you have so much of it and you don't know what to do with it, phone me first. Let me help you spend some of it. I might just buy myself the Ferrari at that point. And I'll tell you exactly how to buy a second-hand Ferrari that's depreciated. And then we can have fun together.
That's true.
The reality is, most entrepreneurs don't understand the science of their financial decisions and the science of money. And so they end up losing a lot. So I would encourage young entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, to be incredibly frugal and disciplined. We never want you to have a poverty mindset. But have a frugal mindset and respect the money that comes into your business. See the business finances as the business finances and not your own money. I've never touched the business's finances in the last 18 years. I get paid a salary when I used to up until the end of February, right? By the company's chief financial officer. I don't touch the company's account. I don't treat it like it's my own bank account. There's a separate identity to the business. There's a separate identity to my personal bank account and my personal finances. And most young entrepreneurs run their businesses like lifestyle businesses. And that's the primary reason why they fail. One of my primary reasons for success 18 years later, the reason why I could say that the ASI Group, thanks to the amazing people that work in it, and very bright financial minds, has amassed a 11-digit cash balance in its bank account, it's because we don't spend money on the wrong things. We spend money on the things that matter. We pay our people really well. We invest in our customers who are then prepared to pay us a little more. We invest into our infrastructure, into our technology, into our systems, processes. Those are the things that create more value in business. It's not about the flashy stuff. So if you're thinking about the corner office and the flashy furniture and the BMW, think again, be frugal.
I love that. I absolutely love that because what you said earlier, if you study success habits, and this is drilled within your business, being disciplined with your finance, and you see this with many of entrepreneurs that build legacy businesses. And this is one of the legacy businesses that you can definitely pinpoint and say this is something that you build not only for now, because many of the times we look at a quick fix now, we look at what are we able to gain out of it now, but what does it look like in the next 5 to 10 years? And do we have that foresight to see in the future as the visionary of a company where this business is going to?
Spot on. Sheldon, I was thinking about a closing thought I could leave with your viewers and the guys that follow the Legends brand. If you want to be a success in your life, do one thing for your entire life. Focus on one thing.
Yeah.
It's part of building a habitual discipline. When you start off in a business, you have, the founder's optimism.
Yeah.
And that optimism is somewhat naive because you don't know enough about the business. A year to 2 years into trading into the company, then you have a lot of pessimism.
Yes.
It's uninformed optimism to begin with, and then informed pessimism after you start. It's in the informed pessimism to seek out positive signals, seek out positivity, maintain a positive mindset, build good discipline. And when you come out of the bell curve, right, if you could visualize this, there's a bell curve. You have the uninformed optimism to start.
Yes.
And then after 2 years, you get to the uninformed pessimism or the informed pessimism.
Yes.
It's at that point
that
you either make or break your business.
Yeah.
If you seek out positive signals and you build positivity from that point,
yes,
with a very disciplined mindset, that's when businesses are shaped. And 90% of businesses fail at that point. And that's because you're not resilient, you're not strong enough.
Yes.
And I said this in the break, I said, business ain't for sissies.
Yeah.
So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you best really be a tough guy or a tough girl out there. You really got to know your craft and you got to have a spine of steel and be prepared for the worst.
Yeah.
Plan for that. And ultimately, it's your ability to ride that out. And you were part of that process in Legends where you had to ride the bottoming out, and that's what's taken you off. And it's taken years of discipline, years of hard work, years of hard sweat and grind and faith. That's what gets you to the finish point. That's what gets
you there. I love that. Thank you so
My brother.
much. Thank you so much. This was truly amazing, and there's so much nuggets that you can grab from this. And to everyone that is watching this podcast, I am so inspired. I feel inspired by just listening to this wealth of knowledge that's just flowing here. And make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. And looking forward to the next show. See you.